And got it. Yes, that first one was a little différent there. Just a little différent. So with that being said, guys, let me put my apple down here, right? Namaste, namaste, namaste to you all. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwest Mexum. How are you? And we'd like to welcome you, first and foremost, happy holy space, right? Venus degree, right? Happy holy day. Most people will, recognize it as happy holy day. It is Iloa Ana Il, alrighty. So this is Venus Day, alrighty. Man formed into flesh on a Friday and man departed out of flesh on a Friday. That's why it's holy day. So with that being said, as always, it is our impromptu improv presentation. I am always excited. This portion of 7heelstar.com astrology firm's presentation that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Brother Benjamin Bey's proctored presentation. And without further ado, let me let my bro introduce himself. And he is
Brother Benjamin Bey here at Morocco. Happy Holy Day, everybody out there. Moors and Morettes.
Indeed. So with that being said, we're going to get right to it. Brother Benjamin is going to do our invocation in. I'm going to do the first letter to be read in every meeting. Brother Ben is going to do the second letter to be read in every meeting. And then we're going to get right into the third portion we left off in about the middle of page 33 pertaining to the Kloran. However, first and foremost, as always, we're going to give acknowledgement and supreme honors to our beloved brother in whom we're well pleased, our noble prophet, Noble Drawley. All righty. And we're saying that without being dogmatic. We're not, banging a tambourine, singing the songs and stuff. All righty. We're recognizing and noticing the astrological and civic, all righty, things that are there. Not boiling civics down to just like, oh, well, the civics was replaced with the religious. No, it wasn't. Stop lying. That's not what it was. We organized. All righty. We organized in 1925 as a civic organization. All righty. So that's it. All righty. And under the laws pertaining to Illinois State Republic, all righty. That organization was formed appropriately, being the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? The legal incorporation happened third. So, we're organizing, then, there's things done under the laws of the Illinois State Republic. And then there's a requirement, asking the mind from the secretary pertaining to Illinois State Republic. All right. And, I know some people argue, oh, well, that's federal agency and that's people playing in the game of federal whatever. And really, at the end of the day, it's really saying that, hey, we're set apart from what you guys are doing, and it just so happens that things are so running amok on the land that there's this large distinction that has to be made because it's like, a virus that's gotten out of control and it can be cured. And the cure and the mitigation process through which it must be cured is studying self. Sincerely, I don't care what anybody say. You can learn all the jurisprudence you want. The superior claim is to those that sincerely comprehend history and law cannot be separated. So therefore, declare and proclaim your nationality because you'll see the connection. Some people are like, I don't see how history and law not being separated has anything to do with nationality. And that's why you just have to study it. Study it, try to prove it wrong. When you prove it right, then you'll be like, man, they was giving us the answer the whole time. And we'll just kind of shake our head, yeah, and then keep directing you to the things we've been directing you towards and be sharing with you. However, without further ado, let me yield and get right to the invocation in. All righty, so let me share my screen here. All righty. And I'm going right here to Zybooks, right? Okay, well, that's where I thought I had it queued. And there it is. Thank you all for your patience. Here with the Divine Constitution and Bylaws for Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. And as we can see here, for this particular document, Moorish America is what it says here. All righty. And we're going to, first of all, let's just recognize Prophet Noble Drew Ali and his Sharif's Moorish National Fez or National Moorish Fez. All righty. In his Abba, standing Dugard. All righty. And he's standing squarely upon that invocation just beneath him there. The Sakal, in this case, that is the Moorish American prayer, invocation in. And we're going to stand facing directional east, which is symbolic to metaphysical east, which is within. East is within, all right? So with that being said, we're going to stand with all 5 appendages on the left hand extended and just the index and the middle appendage on the right hand extended. So therefore 5 on the left, 2 on the right, have your feet on a 45-degree angle, just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali standing there. And we are going to repeat after Brother Benjamin. Bey Islam.
What's on? If I get on the mic, everybody can hear the sound of my voice.
I'm on the mid-side. I got you turned up too.
Everybody in the comment section. All right. 3, 2, and 1. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
Salvation.
And my salvation.
Oh my God. Allah is protecting my God, my salvation. And my salvation.
Guide and my salvation. I just thought you went out, and I just like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm just going to roll with it. But go ahead, I got you.
I want to correct myself by night and by day.
By night and by day.
Through his holy prophet.
His holy prophet.
Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen. It's a beautiful thing, bro, when those things occur. Because, you know, it gives everyone the opportunity to see that, oh, hey, look, just a little faux pas, something like that. It's not like, oh, no.
It's the
prayer.
It's because it's not fluent. That's why. It's because it's not as fluent. When you repeat it back to me, I guess it's the rhythm of it, and that's why I forget. So in my head, I'm like, Allah the Father, Father, love, truth, peace, and justice. Allah, my God, I protect my salvation. So in my head it's like that, but when I gotta hear the other, that's why I would forget. That's why that happens. Because the rhythm's thrown off. So like, I don't know, like, oh my God, but the rhythm is like, my God, my salvation. That's why I do it.
Islam, man. I mean, there's some brothers that aren't, your age, taking their time to take, time out on their Friday morning to give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, bro. So at the end of the day, I think you's like, oh man, I skipped the rhythm. I think that's nothing. There are people out here that have no clue about who Prophet Noble Drew Ali is, and bro, you're here. You know what I mean? Leading us in Moorish American prayers. So that's nothing. Who gives a fuck about, you know what I mean? Oh, I forgot my guy. What? I mean, the brother's here actually spending his time freely sharing and doing community service and sharing what Prophet Noble Drew Ali is. But I think we can give him a pass on my guys. And
they be like, what's up? Hey, I'm giving that effort. It's the effort.
Islam. It is what it is, man. All right, let's get to these 2 letters to be read in every meeting, man. All right, so I'm going right here, man. All righty, and as we can see, we're here in administrative functions, right? Moore's Holy Temple of Science, administrative functions. We're here on pages 84 and 85, right? This is the first letter to be read in every meeting that you guys can see. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day pertaining to January 1928, Anno Domini, right? As they, in the year dominating, or in the year of our Lord, as they say, that's what the capital A dot, capital D dot denotes. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Prophet Noble Drew Ali commanded that this letter be read for every meeting. All righty. So let's do that. Administrative functions, page 85. All righty. Moor Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th. And that's Illinois State Republic. All right. And that's not capital I, capital L. That's capital I, lowercase l. So that's State Republic. All righty. Not state of Illinois. That is State Republic. January 18, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting, dear brother Islam, I am glad to know I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement, now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they're working every scheme that they can disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the mothers. Shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations pertaining to the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration. I was at Lewis Lincoln Emerson's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement. And I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. The second letter to be read in every meeting is here in the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper, see here 12 and 13. And Brother Benjamin will be reading the divine warning by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. All righty, so have there, and I'm going to zoom in on page 13 to you, for you, beloved brother, and then I yield the floor to you. Islam.
Islam. The divine warning by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. There you go. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. To obey these orders will serve consequences. Will be of severe consequences. There we go. We got love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And these principles, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group pertaining to members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant pertaining to the Moorish movement, will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the the law as laid down to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will pertaining to Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways, by the order pertaining to Prophet Ali. The Dragon Ball Z ball time.
Islam. Excellent, bro. And let's, without further ado, Brother Benjamin had completed right here this last sentence in the second paragraph, which is actually kind of like the first paragraph beginning, because the paragraph is finishing from page 32, then page 32. But Brother Benjamin had ended where it says, after the clad and his party shall have passed the formation of clansmen, all clansmen will, without signal, return to their seats, but remain standing until the clad presents his party to the exalted Cyclops, when they quietly sit down. Where Brother Benjamin stopped at period after down. So we're here on page 33. That's where we will begin. And guys, if you want a reminder here, let's just scroll on up. What are we reading, guys? We are reading, alrighty, the white book, right? Clerigo, the white book, right? The inner guard. Clerigo is the inner guard. How do you know that, Brother Hasan? Well, because Brother Benjamin shared with me, you know, right there, Clerigo, inner guard, right? So
Clerigo. Is that what that is? I've been saying Clerigo or something.
Oh, either one, man. Potato. I mean, you know, Clexter, Cloclan. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's just where,
you know, when you need him.
Like, is it Clayliff, like bailiff, or is it Caliph, like Caliph? Which one is it? I don't know. Either one sounds pretty cool to me.
Try to find me a Klansman around here. Like, hey, Mr. Klansman, this is Khalif or Khalif.
Yeah, no, not Mr. Klansman. You gotta go, hey son, come here, help daddy with this. So it's like, I'm serious. So anyway, I'm just serious. However, we're reading Clerigo, the white book, Kloran, Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. And there, you know, that's a picture of probably us, you know, but that's our garments, actually. You know, when I say that, I mean, like, guys, our Albion sons and daughters have nothing new under the sun to give us. And if there is anything new under the sun, and it's this narrative of grafting people from chimpanzees with our genes. And there's been,
wild,
right? What you say?
So which is wild.
Right? So if that's the case, then okay. Let's look at things this way then. Let's look at what is being preserved then. Because our sons and daughters are naturally at 33 degrees. Cat there, tassel, pick down, right? However, then there's us, the fathers of the eternal zodiac, right? In our Moorish fezzes, right?
Grass spinners.
I know, right? They don't stop. So I'm just looking like, I mean, it looks like those conical headdresses there on those caricatures there looks very tassel-y at the pinnacle, right?
Very.
Looks very tassel-y. So anyhowser, this is what we're reading, guys, right? So let's just take it back on down to page 33, right? And we're talking about, so this is PDF page 35, the actual page 33. And I'm going to yield to my beloved brother, in whom I'm well pleased, where he's going to begin at as the clad approaches. I yield, Brother Benjamin. Islam.
Islam. As the clad approaches the station pertaining to the caliph, after he has passed the formation pertaining to the clansmen, the caliph will arise and besog and halt him with all W. On hearing the law, I'm gonna call it the law, the clad stops and answers with the same. The NH or Nighthawk also stops. Caliph, who are you that walk into the cavern at this hour? Clad, the clad pertaining to the clan with a party whom with the eye pertaining to the unknown has seen and doth constantly observe. Caliph, what be the nature pertaining to your visible empire, and a time like this demands men a man pertaining to strong minds, great hearts, true faith, and ready hands. Worthy aliens known and vouched for by clansmen in the conclave, assembled and by order pertaining to his excellency. I, the clad of the clan, am there, or his guide to the sacred altar. Caliph, pass on. The journey from the entrance pertaining to the cavern to the exalted Cyclops station must stroll up. Oh yeah, I must have frozen mine. My bad, bro. But yeah, I could stroll up for 200.
All right.
The Nighthawk will move on, followed by the clad with his party, and then continue his journey until he arrives at the station pertaining to the exalted Cyclops, when he shall stop and line has company up in a straight line immediately in the front pertaining to the station. The Nighthawk stops but does not change position. The clad steps to the rear pertaining to his party and will address the exalted Cyclops as follows. Clad, Your Excellency, sir, persistent to your orders, I present to you these or this alien aspirants men or a man pertaining to dependable character and courage, who aspire to.
That was pursuit.
Pursuant.
Yeah, sir. Pursuant to.
Yeah. Pursuant to your orders, I present to you these or this alien aspirants, men or pertaining to dependable character and courage, who aspire to the noble life and the high honor pertaining to citizenship in the invisible empire. The exalted Cyclops will arise and address the candidates as follows. Sirs, is this the motive prompting your presence here, serious and unselfish? It is indeed refreshing to meet face to face with men or a man like you who actuated by manly motives aspire to all things noble for yourself and humanity. The luster pertaining to the holy light pertaining to chivalry has lost its former glory and is sadly dimmed by the choking dust pertaining to selfish sword gain. Pass on.
That was activated, yeah, right. All right, but you're good though. You're good.
Actuated. Ooh, heard that. The exalted Cyclops will resume his seat, and the clad will face his party toward the Nighthawk and advance behind the Nighthawk until he hears the signal pertaining to all law, or all W, from the Concord. On hearing from the Concord, the Nighthawk stops and stands steady. The clad will also stop his party immediately in front pertaining to the line, the Concord station, and face them to the Concord station and answer the signal by the same. On receiving the answer, the
cloak guard will arrive.
The cloak guard will arise and address the party as follows. Real fraternity, by shameful neglect, has been starved until so weak her voice is lost in the courts pertaining to her own castle, and she passes unnoticed by her subjects as she moves along the crowded streets and through the den pertaining to the marketplace. Man's valuation pertaining to man is by the standard pertaining to wealth and not worth. Selfishness is the festive. What is that?
Yeah, man, that was bars right there, bro. Like where you did the man's valuation.
Money, money
bro.
don't make the man.
Woo! Goodness gracious,
Wealth
bro.
is like money. We gotta have wealth type stuff. Wealth is knowing who you are. You know you are worth nothing, and not worth. This is the festive queen among humankind. We know queen is prostitute, so for those who like him out. And multitudes forget honor, justice, love, and God in every religious conviction to do homage to her. And yet, with the cruel heart pertaining to Jezebel, she slaughters the souls pertaining to thousands pertaining to her devotees daily. Pass on. Trust me, fun to smile, guys.
These hoes ain't love. No, they ain't. Man, that's how it is, man. Sadness and hatred and all that.
Yes,
yeah. No. When a rich nigga want you. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
When a rich more wants you. And the Europeans can't do nothing.
All right, I'm gonna stop, y'all.
There you go. The clun card will resume his seat, and the clad will face his party as before and advance behind the Nighthawk until he hears the signal pertaining to all W from the claylift. On hearing the signal pertaining to the claylift, the Nighthawk stops and stands steady. The clad will also stop his party immediately in front pertaining to the claylift's station, facing them to the claylift, and answer the signal by the same. On the answer, the claylift will arise and address the party as follows. The unsatiated thirst. That's pretty fine. Unsatiated thirst for gain is dethroning reason and judgment in the citadel pertaining to human soul, and men maddened thereby forget their patriotic, domestic, and social obligations and duties, and friendishly fight for a place in the pertaining to the goddess pertaining to glittering gold. They starve their own souls and make sport pertaining to spiritual development. Pass on. That's clearly they don't mess around in there. The Caleb will resume his seat. Oh, what's up, bro?
Yeah, hold on, my pop's calling me. I'm live. I finish this live. All right, love you, Poppy. All right, later. All right. He just wanted to. Will my son say he loves me while he's live? Yeah, Poppy, I love you, man.
Oh, heard that.
I don't know if my biological male progenitor actually watches us or not, but it's funny, sometimes it's like he just conveniently calls when I'm live, so I'm just like, let me just finally answer the phone. But
that's pretty funny.
On, right? Is that what you say?
I remember that happened some time ago too. And you're like, hey, my progenitor is calling. We were like, wow, that's pretty funny that happens.
Like, yeah, man. That's all calls when we're live on the Impromptu Improv. Like, what is that? He doesn't call me on Intuition Monday. Like
when you're like behind the scenes, like not like active,
Exactly. Like when I'm not when I'm like in the forefront with my bros, it's like ring a ling a ling a ling a ling. No, but it's all good. I'm not upset about it. You know, my pops is hilarious, man. To me, like yeah, I with a whole fresh set of eyes because I have a honorable mindset. You know, so I see him differently than when in a more immature and minor mindset prior to this one that I've raptured into, so to speak. So, however, with that, what'd you say, bro?
I feel that as far as seeing your pops and not letting how you grew up in the world, paint that picture. I get it, it's sting, but I get it as far as the father thing. I'm not gonna hold you to that, brother.
Yeah. Because I could be like, man, this motherfucker wasn't there when I was little. But it's like, now that, I've helped women to bring children to the planet. And, I even, even now, with my beloved mother, mistress consort and our son, you know what I mean? And it's just like, now I'm just really thinking like, man, bro, like I can see things differently now with the different experiences that I've had. So, I can't really rag on my pops, I can't really rag on my mom either. However, I can comprehend and see the dysfunctionality now that I've grown in my own travels, and I can go, oh, okay, I can see what it was. And that 60s generation, they lie differently. You know what I'm saying? They they haven't really. I think there's no knocking to you all, manifesting during the 60s and 1960s. It's just the way you guys go about being and sharing information and stuff like that. It's just a whole nother psychological operation done on those beings manifested during that time, man. And so the way that they reason and function and even socialize, it's some people would call it autistic, whereas I just look at it like, hey man, the iPhone 5 had a different operating system than the iPhone 13. That's just the way I look at it, man. Different phone, different generation phones, different generation operating systems, man. I mean, I would
like okay, this data from this phone using like the quote unquote old data to update stuff. So we're like the updated from the old data coming out of our mother's vagina of old thinking.
Correct. And however, we come built in knowing that we must always honorably update. Yeah. Never get settled in our factory operating system. Like that's if we're gonna keep drawing out this poetic metaphor here. You know what I mean? Like why that's what it is. Because we can draw wisdom from what we're saying. You know what I mean? And share it equally also.
It's kind of like I've seen now why my grandma was upset at why my mother didn't have us. I thought my grandma didn't like me. As a shorty, she's hot, like your mom. I'm like, then you don't like my mom, your daughter. But getting up, and then I'm seeing what my grandmother sees with her eyes. So, my travels around. I'm like, oh, so this is what my grandmother was saying. All right, now I appreciate what you were doing. Instead of like you did this now. It's really like besides her expressing how she actually felt. She was doing an honorable thing, like teaching my mother how to, do the thing about raising children, regardless if she did it or not. I respect that a lot.
Islam.
It's the thing to do, and I'm just mad thankful, like extremely, because I know like my nephews don't have that. Not knocking my mother. I'm like, man, wow. I'm glad I can be able to see it now, not hold my grandmother, not hold my mom or my dad. Like, I see what happened. I'm just glad I didn't fall off the horse while trying to view what y'all was doing. And then take me 50 years to figure,
basically.
Yeah.
It's on you, bro. I yelled you had
playlist. Yeah, Olive. The caliph will resume his seat, and the clad will face his party as before and advance behind the nighthawk until he hears the signal pertaining to RW from the club. On hearing the signal pertaining to the club, the Nighthawk stops and stands steady. The Clad will also stop his party immediately in front pertaining to the club station, facing them to the club, and then answers the signal by the same. On receiving the answer, the club will arise and address the party as follows. Men speak pertaining to love and live in hate. Men talk pertaining to faith and trust fate. Might men do the things they teach? Oh, might men live the life they preach? Then the throne pertaining to avarice would fall, and the clangor pertaining to grim selfishness, or the earth would cease. Love would tread out the baleful fire pertaining to anger. And its ashes plant the lily pertaining to peace. Pass on. The club will resume his seat, and the Clad will face his party as before and advance behind the Nighthawk until he hears the signal pertaining to all W. From the exalted Cyclops, on hearing the signal pertaining to the exalted Cyclops, the Nighthawk stops and goes to and takes the position at the sacred altar. The club will also stop his party immediately in front pertaining to the exalted Cyclops' station, facing them to the exalted Cyclops, and then answer the signal with the same. On receiving the answer, the exalted Cyclops will arise and address the party as follows. Sirs, we congratulate you on your manly decision to forsake the world pertaining to self. Like table bounds pertaining to the invisible empire and become loyal citizens pertaining to the same.
Goodness gracious, man. God. Woo! Man, that sentence there.
See, making a better citizen.
No.
Invisible empire, no limit.
I mean, no limit, babe. I'm just saying. Whoa. Hey, man, I like to congratulate y'all on y'all decision to stay away from that fuck shit out there. And really, go, get along and have universal principle in your heart, and be sincere, be pure heart, be sincere, be love, be upright. Like, bruh.
These would be the real niggas, right?
That's why I said these the real niggas, cause these are pets. Right.
So
the
real nigga.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Galatians chapter 13, verse 4. I'm just saying, like, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, hey, this is what we set up for our beloved sons in whom we're well pleased. However, so many of us that are asleep or dealing with the karmic debt to never remember or not remember in this particular lifetime, then it's like, wow. Like, there are some people who will just sit here. They may never come across this presentation, and that those that do come across this presentation, I trust they don't waste their energy being upset, mad, or offended. Like, we're saying that we're for the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, guys, do things that are out there in Hollywood's depiction of the Ku Klux Klan, which is burn wooden crosses on people's grass and hang copper-toned people from trees. That's not what the fuck we're saying. What we're even saying is that image, I don't even think I think a real exalted Cyclops would be like, that's fucking bullshit. Take that shit down. Stop depicting us that way.
Think about the Abbey Wisdom, bro. The hanging of the copper tones and all that stuff is like a diversion to what they're actually doing. So you look at them that way, but on the back end, they're doing, what more science simple American, preserving cosmology, basically. But they're doing BS in the public to deter you away from it. So it's no different than, nowadays where people treat astrology as like, some, ABC thing, or look at it as, a secondhand thing in society, when astrology is the reason for everything. Or I would say cosmology is the reason for everything. Without the sun, moon, and the planets doing that thing, we have nothing. 7 eyes of Allah are the reason for everything we see out here. And them doing that is basically putting fear into your mind, and that confusing the hate, like bro said. You can't get past.
But there's beauty, you know, Brother Benjamin. Let me add to your wisdom. There's beauty in a bit of Hollywood showing the copper tone people being hung, though, because when one actually sees with a right mind and know, oh shit, what they're communicating with showing copper tone people being hung, it's saying message. What's that message, you may ask? Glad you asked. Hey, you fucking people are treasonous. You're treacherous. You've committed treason. You have gone the opposite pertaining to your ancient foremothers and forefathers' mindset, so that your days may be long upon the earth land. Here your Albion sons and daughters are preserving your shit. And some of you just have a karmic debt to not fucking remember. And since that's your heirs already. So when the depiction in Hollywood is, oh, heirs are being hung, the reason why the heirs are being hung is because they're not seeing that they are committing treason. And we've grafted our Albion sons and daughters to punish treason. Now, I'm not saying that I'm advocating, because we're for peace and not destruction. I'm not advocating, hey, people go. I haven't seen, you know, I haven't seen outside of Hollywood people being hung. I haven't seen outside of some media publication speaking on some event that I didn't directly witness with my own eyes right there in front of me. So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm also saying is those images or those depictions are being put out there kind of like breadcrumbs with a reverse psychology attachment. And with that, with the breadcrumbs, reverse psychology attachment is like, oh, okay, the penalties of treason is death by hanging. So if I'm seeing images of people dying by hanging, then that means they must have been treacherous. They committed treason. Now the question is, when and where was the treason committed?
That's like being begotten in the, I've seen it, like, you know, the 50s, 40s, 30s, 60s area, you know, where the heavy indoctrination was. Like our great grandmother gave that information to our grandmothers, you know, those are the ones, in my, you know, maybe with the treason. It's not saying they deserve that, but you know, what have we gotten in those times? 56, 44, 29, like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, sir, boss. Like even the way we spoke was broken down, or that's the way they depicted then, you know, especially down in the South. Well, yeah. Talk about a hard pill to swallow. Like grafted, you know, the modern European to deal with you in a later time. God damn. Because if you was in the Zodiac, you wouldn't have been, you know, dealing with them on that type of level. As far as having dealing with people. If you were living according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you wouldn't be in a treasonous situation to be, you know. Not you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was just like, man, I mean, just that first sentence after serves, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, man, like manly. So that's mindful decision. So there's a mindful decision to forsake.
It's like they're taking their place in the affairs of minds as well. Be a loyal citizen of, you know, society, you have to have some type of code of merit, and that would be hopefully the Constitution in these times, but whatever they want to ride with. But for us, that would be definitely the Constitution.
Correct.
Citizens should know the law. Leave angles and whiskey. I got you.
Just wanted to see what forsake was.
Here we go. I got you, bro. Forsake is a verb action. Old English, forsaken. Object to oppose, refuse, deny, give up, renounce. Past tense, forsook. Past particle, forsaken. I guess the C there would be like forsaken. From for, completely, plus saken, to struggle, despite, wrangle, not your wrangle jeans. Accuse, blame, sake. Related, forsaking, similar formation in Old Saxon, forsaken, Dutch verse, Old High German, for sehan, deny, reputed, Danish, forsage, give up, refuse.
Man, that Farsahan almost looks like Farrakhan.
Yeah.
I swear my saw Farrakhan for a short second, which I know Farrakhan means he whom sleeps with pigs. I do, that was something that was brought up when I was in the Nation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple, number 1. However, just to even think that, deny, repudiate, like give up, like, whoa, like tied to that appellation. But anyway, and it's no slight or no hate to any organizations, and I'm not making any assertions. It's just my eyes, spirit, this really went there. I'm not even trying. Like, whoa.
Yeah, Farrakhan is definitely Farrakhan. Like I'd be like, Brother Sean and Brother Son. Like sometimes the on would get me.
Yes.
You know
yes.
What I mean?
Yes.
But it put you in the same ballpark.
Islam. Forsake is chiefly applied to leaving that by which natural affection or a sense of duty should or might have led us to remain. As to forsake one's home, friends, country, or cause. A bird forsakes its nest. In the passive, it often means left desolate, forlorn. And that's from the Century Dictionary. All righty. So to even like
That's really playing me. Wow, I thought my iPod was on 100%. Mine on 52%. I was really fast. That was random, but I was like, whoa. But that's your device. That's on 100%.
Yeah. I got it charging or whatever. I could actually unplug it now.
Yeah.
But
I'm charged up.
I'm just really sitting here thinking to myself though, like, man, like, all right, bro, like a mindful decision to deny the world pertaining to selfishness and fraternal alienation. So, like, you want to talk about inalienable, unalienable rights? Let's talk about inalienable, unalienable fraternity. Like, because we're brothers, right? So that means we're brothers from mothers. So one mother's breast is giving us suck. So it's like, okay, so let's not lean upon one another. Let's not make slaves of one another. Yeah. Let's not alienate one another. So thank you for having a manly decision to forsake selfishness and fraternal alienation. And now you have emigrated. Whoa. That sounds like the dividing of the land between Ham and Cush. Like, I can see the parallels, bro. I can see the Veritas. Oh, this constellation is lined up with this constellation in the opposite hemisphere. Like, I see the as above, so below. These are our sons.
And they couldn't operate this way on Earth if they didn't, have the tools to do so. So they didn't teach themselves. Shout out to Brother Abdullah Bey I was watching yesterday. Mm-hmm. They're preserving our ancient knowledge within all they do. Like, you got to know how to cook food, how to eat. It's like, how do you know how to make food? You got to learn somewhere. You just say, start making food and like, hey, this are. Like, no. Where'd you learn the principles of making food? What are the foundational principles of it?
Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey when mentioning, those that are honorable members pertaining to the Rosy Cross are ones that's, really preserving our Moorish culture. I yield the floor to you, beloved brother. Islam.
We're starting at the prime purpose pertaining to this great order is to develop character. Shout out Abe. Practice clannishness to protect the home.
Went out for a second. I think it's like the third or fourth time you kind of went out, and we hear you say to protect the home, and I think you were going into and the chastity of womanhood. You back yet? All righty, waiting on Brother Benjamin to come back there. Prime purpose of this great order, right? Like we have the order pertaining to the Great Seal, right? Order of the Great Seal, National Association of Moorish Affairs, right? Is to develop the character, practice clannishness to protect the home and the chastity, womanhood, and to exemplify a pure patriotism towards our glorious country. What country is that?
I'm gonna be back. My back. My thing went out. Jiggy boogie woogie. Here we go. Woo woo.
All right.
Yeah. I stopped at the glorious country. Here we go.
Yeah, that's where you went out. Yeah, I just kind of finished. I filled in for you.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Righty. You, as citizens pertaining to the invisible empire, must be actively patriotic toward our country and constantly clannish towards the clansmen socially, physically, morally, and vocationally. Will you assume this obligation pertaining to citizenship?
Hey, bro. They want active clansmen, not passive clansmen.
Active, well, not passive. But this thing. Still my whole fucking flow. I'm kidding, but that's fine. So, you're steady. You definitely see. You must unflinchingly conform to our requirements, regulations, and usages in every detail, and prove yourselves worthy to have and to hold the we bestow. Do you freely and faithfully assume to do this? Sirs, if you have any doubt as to your ability to qualify either in body or character as citizens pertaining to the invisible empire, you now have the opportunity to retire from this place with the goodwill pertaining to the clan to attend you. I'm going to escort you out. For I warn you now, if you falter or fail at this time or in the future as a clansman in the conclave or in life, you will be banished from citizenship in the invisible empire without fear or favor.
Hold up, bro. Hold up, man. Goodness gracious, bro. If you lose faith in your prophet and the temple, turn in your button and your.
I found it, my boy. Go back. I found it, my boy.
Yes, bro. Like we just read this. Look, hey, yo, that's why I said, man, look, hey, man, but I yield, bro. I ain't gonna say nothing. What's comprehended ain't got to be explained, man. Go ahead. I yield.
Maggie, can you roll up a little bit, bro?
Yes, of course I can, bro. Of course.
Yeah, there you go. This is a serious we are not here to make sport pertaining to you, nor indulge in silly frivolity pertaining to circus clowns. Now, what's up, bro? Frivolity, is that it?
Yeah.
Frivolity, that's a great word. Pertaining to circus clowns. Be you well assured that he is that putteth his hands to the plow and looketh back and is not fit for the kingdom pertaining to heaven, or worthy pertaining to the high honor pertaining to citizenship in the invisible empire, or the fervent fellowship pertaining to clansmen. Don't deceive yourselves. You cannot deceive them, and we will not be mocked. Do you wish to retire? Bro, it's not playing. Exalted Cyclops, faithful clad, you will direct the way for these worthy aliens to the sacred altar pertaining to the empire, pertaining to chivalry, honor, industry, and love, in order that they may make further progress towards obtaining citizenship in the invisible empire, knights pertaining to the Ku Klux Klan. The clad will conduct his party to the sacred altar by the way pertaining to the Concord station. When he has arrived within about 6 feet pertaining to the Concord station.
Cloakard station. You went out again though, bro.
Until he reaches a point about 6 feet pertaining to the sacred altar toward the station pertaining to the exalted Cyclops, he will then turn square to his right and continue until he has passed the sacred altar about 4 feet. He will then turn square to his left and continue until he passes the sacred altar about 6 feet, when he will turn square to his left and bring his party into the formation pertaining to a 3/4 hollow square, and will face them towards the sacred altar. If he has 5 candidates or fewer number, he will form them in a straight line facing the sacred altar on the side pertaining to the altar towards the Caliph station and about 4 feet from the altar, and then perfect the 3/4 hollow square formation with his clansmen. The night halt takes its place with the fiery cross held aloft just from the corner pertaining to the sacred altar to the right of the exalted Cyclops. He stands within the quadrate with the fiery cross is held aloft during the administration pertaining to the oath of.
Yo, hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. You just read that, right? I don't know if you're back yet because your mic went out again, but this is a great time to kind of like go in on it real quick. Are you there, bro?
Yeah, no? You heard that?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. I wanted to. It's funny because you said cross held aloft. Man, that was said twice in that paragraph. And it reminds me of the song lyric by Coldplay. And the song is called Violet Hill. And I think the second verse was a long and dark December when the banks became cathedrals and the cross. No. And the fog became God. And he like, priests clutched onto Bibles, hollowed out to fit their rifles, and the cross was held aloft. That's literally the second verse of Violet Hill by Coldplay. Priests clutched onto Bibles, hollowed out to fit their rifles, and the cross was held aloft. So when you just really read that, I was just like, whoa, that reminds me of Coldplay. You know what I'm saying? Violet Hill. So anyway, yeah, man, go ahead. I yield to you, bro.
Islam. The first paragraph above gives a general idea regarding to the journey pertaining to the candidates to the sacred altar as turning angles as to distances, etc. In making this journey, the number pertaining to candidates and the good judgment pertaining to the clad will determine the size pertaining to the hollow square formation and the best results in getting to the forming it. The should steady well his part in the forward.
Stop. See, man, you should study your part. Like, man, goodness, Jesus Christ. Like, bro, like, study well your part, because they're acting this out, man. Alrighty. And it just reminds me of it just reminds me of circumambulations around the Kaaba, which is all symbolic pertaining to astromasonics. Period, man. This is zodiacal, man. This is astrological and astronomical in its foundation. Study well that part because it's a cycle. It's gonna come around again.
Bring it around town.
And the floor work, so you're gonna be on the floor, right? Floor work, not air work, not cloud work, not space work, floor work. All right, I yield.
Islam. The clad should steady well his part in the floor work, for his is a very important and impressive part. He should exercise good military mannerisms in his work. When the clad has perfected the 3/4 hollow square formation, he will advance to a point about midway between the altar and the station in the exalted cyclops, salute, and in a strong, clear voice say, "Clad, Your Excellency, the aliens in our midst." All right, Islam. The aliens in our midst from the world pertaining to selfishness, and fraternity, alienation, forsake the path, are now. He went out a little bit. What you say, bro? Fraternal alienation, forsake the past, and are now ready and willing to bind themselves by the unyielding tie to the invisible empire. Knights presented to the Ku Klux Klan. Remember, no Draw I connected the cords back to the ethers. So,
And parallels, man.
Well,
parallels instead of Paradise by Coldplay. Wow, a lot of Coldplay. But anyway, I yield.
Then the clad will about face and answer his position in reflection pertaining to the center, and the rear pertaining to the line pertaining to the candidates toward the station pertaining to the claylift, and await orders. The cloak card with his assistants pace. Oh, did I say paces? Here we go. The cloak card with his assistants to the claylift, and the clud will then, with a steady pace, there we go, form across the open side pertaining to the hollow square so as to complete the square, and will administer sections 3 and 4 pertaining to the oath pertaining to the claylift administers sections 3 and the clud administers section 4. The concord stands between his assistants. The claylift. What's up?
That's a 7.
Oh, section 7?
No, I'm just saying. That's
3 and 4.
4 is a 7. 3/4 were already constructed or made already. That's 270 degrees out of 360.
That's fine. So
now the cloak card needs to take the claylift and the clud to finish the last 90, which gives the full 360. Man, boy.
It's like they're moving.
Man, I'm telling you, this reminds me. I was like, yo, when I do my workshops, I like to make people act out the astrology so they can comprehend it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is just, I ain't gonna front. I'm at this point, until we get to the end of this, so far, I am ear to ear with joy in my heart with this document, man. I really am. I really, really am, man. This is, yeah, I don't know what that Ku Klux Klan stuff that they're like presenting on like Hollywood based things. However, since I'm not a fucking idiot minor in my mind, I'm analyzing these documents myself, and man, it's just really just makes me go, oh, okay, so motherfuckers do know better. Okay, it ain't just us that's supposed to know better. Everybody's supposed to. So anybody out here claiming that they saying something, like I said, man, I call bullshit on somebody talking about they a clanner. And it's like, bruh, if you don't, a real clanner should look and smell like, just in general, like a Moorish American.
Indeed. In act, in heart, in speech, in clothing, in demeanor, aura,
yeah.
And fearless, like, hey, don't mess around. If this ain't for you, don't be here. You can gladly leave and we will forget you. Go do your thing. We got real work to do here, player.
Yeah, we not for that selfishness and fraternal alienation. Like, for real, that's what being black is. When you're black, when you say I'm a black person, I'm a black man, I'm a black woman, you're saying I'm selfish and I fraternally alienate. Because that's all you're doing with your fucking belief systems. Hey, I don't care if it's a church, temple, mosque, if you're doing dogmatic practices and you really
Or so.
You motherfuckers are selfish and are fraternally alienating out there. You are. You call yourself colorers, call yourselves languages with the letter O at the end of it or something. I don't give a shit. You man, can you afford the truth? Can you really afford the truth? Like, seriously.
Cost an email. I said it only costs an email. Certain places.
You said it's going to cause an email?
I said it'll only cost an email in certain places. The truth. Amen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because bro, at this point, Brother Benjamin, I'm just like, man, like, look, I'm not sitting here to go, oh, let's throw egg on people's faces that thought they knew something and we're exposed. That's not what we're saying is, hold on, let us analyze this without anyone's influence as we're analyzing it. That's what the fuck Seven Hill Star does. Just because we mention certain elders that have shared certain things, that doesn't mean that we're under their influence.
Yeah.
We are clearly worshiping under our own vine and fig tree, and we think for ourselves. And it's like, because I don't know any elder that was like, hey, go and read the Kloran. That was just something, just reading, like going to lectures, looking at different lectures, and here's a divine inspiration, that small still voice, go, hey, Hasan, maybe you should analyze the Kloran. It's like, oh, okay, let's do that then. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time. We've analyzed it privately before, and it's just that now we're sharing it, in the gates with our peers. So I yield, beloved brother. Yes. I was just saying, wow, man, that's a 7. You're at the Clo card stands between.
Islam. The Clo card stands between his assistants. The clay lift to his right, the clud to his left. After the oath shall have been administrated, the concord will about face and advance to a point about midway between the altar and the exalted cyclops, facing the exalted cyclops. Subject.
Oh, dang, Benjamin, you did it again. You did it again.
Did I go out?
Remember, Jesus was crucified between a thief and a liar, right? Or a thief and a murderer, right? And who's holding the fiery above their head? Is the Clo card? Is the Clo card holding the fiery cross aloft? Is that who's holding the fiery cross? The Nighthawk takes his place with the fiery cross. Oh, okay. So the Nighthawk. All righty, cool. But the fiery cross is held aloft during the administration of the oath and the dedicatory, right? So the dedicatory ceremony. So it's like, okay. So then the first paragraph above gives general idea, right? Blah, 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 yakety schmackety. In making his journey, the number of good judgment of the clad will determine the size. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, right? Hollow square format. Hey, yo, hold the Hey, I just keep seeing, I'm seeing the clad. I'm just having this Jesus Christ thing and then being crucified. And then it's like.
I saw something as it in heaven earlier. I read something about heaven earlier.
Yes, because it was the kingdom of heaven they were quoting. Because it says, first seek ye the kingdom of heaven and all these things will be added unto thee. And so it's right there. Be you well assured that, quote, he that putteth his hand to the plow and looketh back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven. And even in the oral statements and prophecies, the Prophet Noble Ali, I think it says, you know, it would have been better for you to not have put your hand to the gospel plow at all than to have put into it and let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's just, Prophet Noble Ali is a universal prophet. And it's interesting how reading the Ku Klux Klan's Kloran is just solidifying it even more. Like, that's why I said, man, I am enjoying these Holy Day presentations, man. This is number 3. This is the 3rd cycle that we're going in on the Ku Klux Klan. And like I said, man, the Hollywood depiction and what I'm reading in this book they're not the same Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan that I see here is uberly different.
Like taking the Moor sign, symbol of American, and making the L Ruckins almost.
Yeah.
With the Hollywood description of the practice, you know?
Yeah.
So they take the sciences and give you L Ruckins instead of actual Noble Drew. Give us, you know, let's hang them and burn them down instead of let's hold each other accountable as brothers and, you know, not be fools on earth and make slaves of each other.
Yeah, bro, because I'm just even looking like how it's even saying how the cloak card will, cloak card stands. So I'm looking at cloak card like, all right, Jesus at Calvary being crucified in that anthropomorphic depiction, which is dealing with astromasonics, of course. Well, about face, right? So he'll turn 180 degrees and advance to the point about midway. Hey, look at that, midpointing, right? Between the altar. However, let's go back to the cloak card stands between his assistants. So like they trying to say that Jesus was crucified between his 2 assistants, a thief and a murderer, right? However, we already know it's all astromasonic, so there's some actual wisdom that can be drawn from that if you're really looking at it, right? And really see what it is and go to the astromasonics, because it could be speaking about something else as far as how things are looked at in the celestial hemispheres, right? In the celestial globe, so to speak. So with that being said, man, you can kind of look at this as like, oh, wow, during this burning cross being held aloft, set by the Nighthawk, we can also see that the cloak card, like Jesus, is being crucified at the same time between the Caliph and the Clud, but that's not what's actually happening. He's just completing something. Something's being complete, but I'm just saying that like this image came to my mind as you're reading. I'm just like, wow. All righty, but okay, yes. And, the altar and the exalted Cyclops facing the exalted Cyclops, he will salute and address the exalted Cyclops. Thus, I yield, bro.
Here's one. Cluncord. Cloak card. Your Excellency, the worthy aspirants as the sacred altar pertaining to the clan have each voluntarily assumed without mental reservation to the solemn and the thrice binding oath pertaining to allegiance to the invisible empire, knights pertaining to the Ku Klux Klan, and are waiting to be dedicated to the holy service. Oh, what did I do? There we go. The holy service pertaining to our country, the clan, each other, our homes, and humanity.
Wow. Humanity, not mankind. Not mankind. Not mankind. Humanity. Wow. Fucking wow. And I yield.
Exalted Cyclops, faithful cloak card. You and your assistants have performed your duty well. Now you may rest, but stand by in readiness to perform other duties if such arise. The cloak card resumes his place in the quadrant formation between his assistants. The exalted Cyclops will then proceed to the sacred altar to perform the following ceremony pertaining to dedication. Dedication. The exalted Cyclops addresses the candidates as follows. The exalted Cyclops, sirs, Have each pertaining to you assume without mental reservation your oath pertaining to allegiance to the invisible empire. Mortal man cannot assume a more binding oath, character, and courage, alone with enable you to keep it. Always remember that to keep this oath means to you honor, happiness, and life, but to violate it means disgrace, dishonor, and death. May honor, happiness, and life be yours.
Oh, goodness gracious. Damn.
It'll tell you what. Right.
You know what I mean?
Then he holds up the vessel from the sacred altar containing the dedication fluid and addresses the candidates as follows. With this transparent, life-giving, powerful, God-given fluid, more precious and far more significant than all the sacred oils pertaining to the ancients, I set you, or each pertaining to you, apart from men pertaining to your daily associations, to the great and honorable task you have voluntarily allotted yourselves as citizens pertaining to the invisible empire, not pertaining to the Ku Klux Klan. As the clansman, may your character be as transparent, your life purpose as powerful, your motive in all things as magnanimous and as pure, and your clannishness as real and as faithful as the manifold drops herein. And you a vital being as useful to humanity as is pure water to mankind.
Woo! Goodness gracious. Prophet Noble Jolly said, when the fire come out, be the water.
Be a water, baby.
Man, and the next part says, you will Colin Kaepernick.
Wow. You will Colin Kaepernick on your right knee. You will on your right knee. Just here, the following stanza must be sung in low, soft, but distinct tone, preferably by a quartet.
Yeah, quartet. Yeah, like,
quartet. Quartet.
Boys the Men. Ladies and gentlemen, for this next song, we bring to the stage Boys the Men. Here we are, we belong together. Doom, 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 doom. Stop, y'all.
I need to actual hands.
Just as I am without plea. Just as I am without one plea. Boom, boom. Let me stop, y'all. I don't know how the song goes. It's just funny as we're reading it, man. It's not something to make fun of with negative assertion. I'm just like, I am very glad that we're reading this, man. This just really is, man, there's no excuse to play out, man. This just proves, man, some people are just making decisions to be selfish and fraternally alienate. Seriously. Any hoosers. You know, some people be like, oh, well, we're not in the temple, so I don't have to do that. It's like, do you see that these Klansmen are taking it seriously within the conclave and outside of the conclave? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck up. Like, that's why I tell people I am at least 153% Moorish American all the time. All the fucking time.
And if they're honoring if you know that they're honoring our ancient forefathers and stuff we've done and we forgot, you look at it like mad differently. They're really giving like you the biggest up by upholding what you brought to Earth. Or what you learned how to, figure out how to do at Earth. You know what I mean? So it's really like beautiful to see if you get over the ugliness of it, of the Hollywood BS. Like, man, that really preserving Earth stuff. Or Earth would be like worse than what it is right now. Someone had to have some type of order.
Yippity duppity.
Unfortunately, I had to keep it in secret societies. Unfortunately, that's part of the karma, though. Some get it, some can't. I'll try to sing this in what did they say, a soft low tone. We'll get it going. Tune, I'm kidding. Tune just tuned just as I am without one plea. To thee, O God, I call to thee. True to my oath, oh help me be. I've pledged my love, my blood, my all. Oh, give me grace that I not fall. Hope the Klansmen, respect me for that. I ain't gonna butcher your lyrics there. The exalted Cyclops sirs, neath the upholded fiery cross with its sacred traditions of the past. I dedicate you in the body, in the mind, in spirit, and
no, they went out, you man.
Oh man, I started from the top. Where to go out at? Out to Cyclops, because you mad froze out here too, so it definitely.
All right, cool.
I started from the top. Exalted Cyclops, sirs, neath the uplifted fiery cross, which by its holy light looks down upon you to bless with its sacred traditions pertaining to the past. I dedicate you in body, in mind, in spirit, and in life to the holy service pertaining to our country, our clan, homes, and there's not an end, each other and humanity. Yeah, they really rolling. He advances to the candidates and pours a few drops pertaining to the dedication fluid on each candidate back and says, in body, pours a few drops on his head and says, in mind, places a few drops on his own hand and tosses it upward and says, in spirit, then moves his hand in a horizontal circular motion around the candidate's head and says, and in life. After this, he says, dedicated by us. Now concentrate yourselves to be sacred because you have entered. To all he will say, my terrors and clansmen, let us pray. All except those officiating at the sacred altar must kneel. The exalted Cyclops will step back to the rear and left pertaining to Clud. The Nighthawk remains in his position. The Clud will then stand close to the sacred altar on the side towards the station pertaining to the exalted Cyclops and will use the following. Dedicatory prayer. God of all, author pertaining to all, thou who didst create man and so propose that man should fill a distinct place and perform a specific work in the economy pertaining to thy good government, thou hast revealed thyself and thy purpose to man. And by this revelation, we have learned our place in our work. Therefore, we solemnly dedicated ourselves as clansmen to that sublime work harmonic with thy will and purpose in our creation. Now, O God, we through thy goodness have here dedicated with thine own divinely distilled fluid these manly men at the altar kneeling, who have been moved by worthy motives and impelled by noble impulses to turn from selfishness and fraternal alienation and to espouse with body, mind, and spirit and life the holy service pertaining to our country, our clan, our home, each other. We beseech thee to dedicate them with the fullness pertaining to thy spirit, keep him, or which pertaining to them, true to his or their sacred soul and oath to our noble cause, to the glory pertaining to thy great name. Amen. All say amen. Immediately after the prayer, all will arise. The exalted Cyclops will step to the altar and instruct the candidates to arise. The Clud will step back to his place. The exalted Cyclops will address the candidates as follows. Sir or sirs, you are no longer strangers or aliens among us, but are citizens with us, and with confidence in your character that you have not sworn falsely or deceitfully in the assumption pertaining to your oath, I, on behalf of pertaining to our emperor and clansmen, welcome you to the citizenship in the empire pertaining to chivalry, honor, industry, and love. After saying this, the exalted Cyclops will arise the front apron pertaining to his helmet, and all clansmen will do the same. And as a token pertaining to welcome, he will greet each pertaining to the candidates with to cock. That's kind of wild. And then returns to his positions at the altar and says, "By authority vested in me by our emperor, I now declare and proclaim, each pertaining you a citizen pertaining to the invisible empire, knights pertaining to the Ku Klux Klan, and invest you with title pertaining to clansmen, the most honorable title among men, boss." This done, the exalted Cyclops returns to his station, and the candidate is greeted under the fiery cross by all clansmen with
went out again
at the altar and take his seat. Excuse me. But Claroga will have turned on the lights pertaining to the cavern. Now they're doing also with the lights off. This done with the exalted Cyclops will say, "Exalted Cyclops, the clad pertaining to the clan, the clad will advance from his position at the rear pertaining to the candidates to a point about 5 feet in front pertaining to the exalted Cyclops and salute and say, clad, your excellency. Exalted Cyclops, you will escort the clansmen at the sacred altar to the station pertaining to the cloak that they may receive instructions in the way pertaining to the cavern. Clad will salute and say, the clad will salute and say, "I have your order, sir." The clad conducts the candidates and forms them in a straight line in front pertaining to the cloak where seats have been provided, and will instruct them to be seated. He will take a position at the center pertaining to the rear, position at the center and to the rear pertaining to the candidates, and remain standing while the instructions are being given. Spin all over down here.
Oh, hold on one moment. That's why I kind of stopped. I was thinking, if you like, we can take a pause. We can come back. We can continue with the way pertaining to the cavern, which starts in 46 PDF page 46 out of 60 PDF pages, and get into there. Hey, look, welcome to the conversation. Anyway,
Conversation. Wow.
Right, welcome to the conversation. So with that being said, we'll get into these things, man. And I was just kind of just scrolling forward to see what it's like getting all the way to it. Okay.
Sort of reminds me of all the names and stuff like that. It's like the circles of mothers and sons. Is I'm saying that right? That's what it reminds me of, all the names, the positions, and what they do. Things of that nature.
Yeah. Indeed.
Koran. It's only 60 pages. I ain't nothing, 60 piece.
Yeah, it's nothing. So, and it looks like it's stopping here. And so we go back to page 43. 33 to 43. 43 to 54 wouldn't be hard, for next cycle, especially if we get started earlier than we did today. So we come back next cycle, Brother Benjamin. We can start here at the Way of the Clavern, PDF page 46, but it's the actual page 44. So we'll go from 44 to 54 next cycle. We don't went from 33 to 43. So next cycle will be complete. We did the whole Kloran in one moon cycle by next Friday. Look at that. All right. So we'll start back next cycle with the Way of the Clavern.
You like hashtag Jupiter and Aries right here, guys. You know what I mean?
I know, right? I know, right? So amazing, man. Super deep. Amazing, guys. Never forget. Make sure you go to 7heelstar.com. Go and subscribe now to receive free weekly gifts and study materials directly to your inbox. Guys, make sure you fill out for your email there. All righty. You guys all know that as we're doing this, we're presenting. You guys can go to the 7-day Tropic Medical Astro Weather Report page, right? And as you can see, we do have our weather report for the 21st to the 27th of July, 2022 there, all righty, with 7 Hillstar astrology firm. However, guys, you can go there also. When you click on that there, as soon as you hit pause, you'll see all the other videos that are there. And as you can see, we're live right now in that lower right-hand corner. If we was to go and press that, you'll see right now.
Great shape up.
On the correct. So what'd you say there, bro?
That's a great shape up. That box shape up behind that last picture was really decent.
Oh, you're hilarious, bro.
Nice 45-degree right there. Damn.
Hey, yo, you're hilarious, bro. You're hilarious. So, guys, remember, come and get your mirror sessions done by 7hillstar.com astrology certified professional astrologers. Not only are we Moorish American, however, we are certified professionally as well.
Framed up.
I know, man. And then, we're finishing up the scholarship program. So there'll be more certifications from other astrological communities recognizing who we are. So, guys, this is what we do. And we're just going to continue to do the work and enjoy ourselves. And just
in that case, it would be a school, technically. Of course, it is a school, but a school.
Yes.
But I'm probably mad late on that. It's hit me like a ton of bricks, but I'm like, a certificate, graduated. Wow, man. Every temple must have a school. Temple of the body, so the body made a school, virtually.
It's not, bro. I mean, you're right. You super duper right?
Graduated.
Looking at something else, classes and events, right? So yeah, man. You guys make sure get your hands on everything that we have at hillstar.com. We went in on it on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys just putting it out there, just letting you guys know. Check out 7hillstar.com. You want to get to know who we really are, guys. Just click on more. Click about us. And you will find out everything about us there. All righty. Find out more about Brother Corey Bey. Brother Terrell Tamari Bey. Brother Sean Alim L. Brother Benjamin Bey. As we're here right now on the Holy Degree Impromptu Improv, right? And you can find out more about us. And then there's I as well, Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, right? And you guys can get my one sheet and press room there. Also, if you want to get a little further. The journey began as far as 7 Hillstar begins with me. However, I am so happy that my brothers have come along and have allowed themselves to really, prove to themselves what is happening here with 7 Hillstar. And it just brings a joy to my heart to see how much further we're going with this, man, how much we have grown being the 7 Hillstar astrology firm. Right. And really, in the whole astrology firm thing is it's ultimately, an insider type joke type thing with this whole how it goes with that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let me spotlight you, bro. Let me bring you back in.
Yeah, I had to put the pad down so I can do my read thing. That's why I had it down or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's no worries, man. It's no worries. I'm just really thankful and grateful, man. That what you say?
I've been practicing speaking out loud and guiding myself, looking at the words. I'll put a word like an and or a the there. I'll try to freestyle friends they weren't reading sometimes. So that's what
Islam. Right. Man, I appreciate you, Brother Benjamin. I thank you for for you being pure heart, being sincere intent, love, and honor. Keeping Prophet Noble Drelly at the forefront pertaining to your mind. Bro, go get some rest, because I know you're every Friday you're coming here and
I'm trying not to yawn in between the reading. I was trying my best at the end. I was I'm trying not to.
Man, clocked out and haven't gotten any rest or recharge yet, man. You come in off of you clock out and then jump right into the to the studio and be like, hey, look, man, I gotta present. So hey, bro, this has been beautiful, bro. It's great. It's right before 30 minutes past noon. Man, let's just do our thing, man. Share this thing on out. I'm gonna put the thumbnail up and stuff like that. Get ready for these emails for tomorrow. Any other questions, comments, and or suggestions, Brother Benjamin?
Oh no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, share, donate. Find you a clansman somewhere. Try to help this earth out together.
Right. Be polite. Speak in intelligent tones so that you may receive a favorable reply. Because it's on both sides, guys. It's definitely on both sides. So with that being said, guys, be yourself. Donate, like Brother Benjamin just reminded us. And remember, guys, schedule your mirror session. You will be fully joyed that you do so. And I'm going to say now, guys, actually, before we go, we're going to close out.
Yeah, I got it.
Say it again.
I like how we both look at it.
Oh, I was about to say, we're going to do
both just like, I was like,
yeah, okay, we're going to do the invocation out. We're going to end how we began. So I'll say my namastes and my islams and peace and loves then. So let me go here and do the screen share, right? Share the screen here. Guys, you all can understand direction east, symbolic to standing.
Let me get that as the thumbnail. If I can get my head in there.
Got you. All right. And zoometh ineth right here. And we're going to do our invocation out as we did coming in. Brother Benjamin is going to lead us on out with the Moorish American prayer, facing east, 5 on the left, 2 on the right, standing on the 45. And Islam.
All right. Just remember, guys, Allah protects us and then He guides us. All right.
Exactly. By night and by day, by sect. Right. All right.
3, 2, and 1. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
God of love.
Of love. Truth.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
God.
My guide.
My salvation.
And my salvation.
By night. And by day. Who is Holy Prophet.
Who drew Ali.
Ameen.
Gratitude indeed, my beloved brother, in whom I am well pleased. You all enjoy yourselves this holy degree, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday that you have to yourselves, however you have it. And with that being said, I am Brother Benjamin. We yield the floor on behalf of 7 Hillstar Astrology Firm. Go to 7hillstar.com and subscribe. We say namaste to you all.
Peace.
Peace out.